What's up, friends? And welcome back to my channel. You're wondering why kinky sweat? Because my hair is kinky and I have a sweaty lifestyle, combining my love of movement and beauty onto one platform. Today we are taking a look at the NYX Cosmetics Can't Stop, Won't Stop 24-hour full coverage foundation. This was in collaboration with Alyssa Ashley, whom I love. I feel she is one of the most beautiful people I have ever freaking seen, and I am constantly blown away every time she does makeup, just her fashion sense, and she takes her own pictures, and the way she arranges her photos and how she shoots them I feel are just gorgeous. So I'm a huge fan. We'll get into the shade, the application, and also I tried this on yesterday. Pretty impressed with how it dried down, and we might do a wear test. But listen, not going to powder it. I know, but I feel if we want to truly see the performance of this foundation, we're gonna put it up against today's temperature, which is a balmy 85, high humidity. So if this can't stop, won't stop, waterproof, no budge foundation, we're gonna see if that's gonna happen. And with all that said, let's get into it. I pulled up the Ulta website. I originally went onto the NYX one, but it was having issues and not loading the description. So here we go. The NYX Professional Makeup Can't Stop, Won't Stop Foundation, full coverage, 1 fluid ounce for $15. I purchased this from the NYX Cosmetics store here in NYC. It's located in Union Square. Nice quiet Tuesday afternoon, like 1 p.m. No one was in the store, like, thank God. Melissa C, the associate who kindly helped me find my shade. We picked out 3 colors that we thought would be in my skin shade spectrum, pumped it onto a palette, and we decided that cinnamon was my shade. And I thought that cinnamon was actually spot on in store and also when I tried it on yesterday. Let's get on to the details, shall we? Lightweight, waterproof, and pigmented AF. NYX Professional Makeup's Can't Stop, Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation hustles hard as you do. We'll see about that. This comfy liquid formula comes in 45. That's a lot of shades. 45 flattering tones that don't transfer. Every creamy shade glides on smooth, delivering matte coverage and color that stays true for up to 24 hours. It's a long time. This little overachiever also works to control shine and mattify your complexion all day long, which is why I don't want to powder, because I want to see how well it does on its own with those claims. It doesn't stop there. Oh, excuse me. This foundation is non-comedogenic and suitable for normal, oily, combination, and sensitive skin types. Sensitive skin types can also be oily, and it doesn't have dry on here. If you are a dry skin type, I wouldn't recommend this unless you apply some sort of oil as your primer to help finesse it a little bit and it doesn't latch onto your dry patches. 1 fluid ounce is a typical amount usually found in foundations. $15, not bad. I feel that's still in the drugstore realm. There are some L'Oreal foundations, even Revlon, that retail for $12 to $15. And NYX is kind of like that in-between mez, if you will, in terms of price points, that even though it is sold in drugstores, is not as expensive as higher end foundation products such as Makeup Forever and Hourglass. If $15 is more of your budget, I think it is worth the try. Of course, I am lucky that there is a store near me that I could swatch in person and figure it out, because let me actually go to my shade here, because I know it's very hard to decipher what shades really will look like just from online, because the screen and what the color looks really be tough to figure it out. Cinnamon is, according to the NYX description, is said to be a medium with neutral undertone, which makes sense because I tried almond, which was medium with cool, and I think I also did golden, which was medium deep with neutral undertone. That was a little too warm for me, and from all the swatches, the live ones we did, I think cinnamon is the one. So here it is, up close and personal. You got the plastic cap and you got a plastic pump. I actually appreciate this because it ensures that no product will be lost or pump into your makeup bag by accident, and it clips on fairly securely. So I think this will be good in your makeup bag and it won't make a mess. It says here on the little label to shake well, so that's what we're gonna do. Oh, that's better. Now, I know I usually, on my foundation applications, I usually use a sponge on one side and a brush on one side. I'm gonna be a bad reviewer and just do the brush because I've been loving brush as of late. I think I've been watching a lot of videos demoing how effective a brush can be in terms of laying on the best coverage and just giving that skin-like finish and it being very smooth looking. So with that, I am going to use the Fenty 110 full-bodied foundation brush, which is crazy. I haven't used this in a while. As of late, I have been also using my Sigma Flat Kabuki in F80, also a great brush. My Wayne is in the bathroom. I still love him. I just like to rotate a lot when it comes to foundation brushes. So in terms of my skin prep, I don't use primers. I rely on my skincare to prep my face before I go in with foundation. And if you haven't seen my Sephora haul sale video yet, I went more in depth about the Pharmacy green screen. This is what I applied, as well as the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer under it. And I'm a dud, I forgot to bring it with me to show you on camera. I also applied the Biosense Squalene rose oil and vitamin C oil. I pressed it on top of the Pharmacy green screen and I left it on to sink for around 20 minutes because I did my nails. How do you like these nails? It's from, how did the nail people do it? They do it like this? I forgot. I'm such a bad nail blogger. This is from Fun Lacquer Polish. It is in Eternal Love, the multi-chrome polish. I think it's pretty cool. Like in certain light, it looks magenta and others, it looks violet. So fun for Fun Lacquer. Skin is ready, and now what I've been doing with liquid foundations, I like to pump it onto the back of my hand first to warm it up because I think it will lend a better blend when we kind of finesse it a little bit. So I'm going in again with my Fenty brush and we're just gonna start applying. I was very curious to see how this would show up in natural light because in my bathroom, although it looked fine, natural light always reveals the truth. So I was anxious to see if it was actually my right shade match. Okay, now this I find dries fairly quickly and it dries down to a really nice matte finish that does not look parched or dry on the skin. I was so impressed that I didn't even set it and just went in with my bronzer, and I thought my bronzer blended fairly well on the foundation. I just like to stipple it in and take my time making sure that I don't miss any parts and I blend it well into the skin. Here's a close-up of how it looks. Now, I know it looks a little... Does it look a little yellow to you? Because this is the neutral undertone, and I found that the other shades that we swatched next to it were way too warm. But again, I'm never nervous about it because I find when I apply my concealer, it kind of evens it out. So here, let's take a lookie. No foundation, foundation. Let's take another pump, prep that up. I'm gonna start working that in. Did you recently see Wayne Goss's foundation video? Oh my god. I mean, he really called a lot of us out, including myself. I feel I also apply way too much because, you know, if you watch Nikki tutorial, she's slapping that stuff on like icing. And again, the role of foundation is to even out your skin tone and to provide an even toned canvas to apply makeup on so you don't have any redness or weird discolorations going on, and all the bronzer, blush, and highlighter shades will show true to color. Your skin should still look like skin. And I think with now the beauty influencer climate, just in general with Instagram and everything, like painted faces kind of pulled away from like how makeup was done years ago. And I love full coverage, yes, because, you know, we want that even out base, but I don't want to look like I have a mask. So I still see my blemishes peeking through. So what I can do if I feel it necessary, I still have a little bit on the back of my hand. I'll pick it up with the brush and just go over that part of my face. Over here too. Making sure I blend it into my hairline so there's no line of demarcation. It'll look seamless. Alright friends, what do we think so far? It's starting to dry down into that matte finish. And I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to powder. I will powder under my eyes. But next, before we do that, let's go in with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in C10. I'm just going to pop that under my eye. I'm using my Wayne Gloss number 2. Is this? Yes, from his Anniversary 2 set. Just to blend that out. Placing a tiny bit more just to the innermost part where my darkness kind of peeks through. And then I'll take my smaller Luxie, this is the 120 small detail brush, to blend that in. Alright, how does that look? I felt that blended fairly well on the foundation. I'm just taking my finger here to further smooth that seam out. I love how my skin feels. The foundation dried down pretty nicely. Yeah, man. If I were to compare this with another foundation that I think takes on a similar characteristic, is the Maybelline 24-Hour Superstay. The way this dried down is how I wish the Maybelline dried down. Because the Maybelline, if you don't blend it well enough or you don't get it into your skin, I feel it could kind of, it doesn't look patchy, but it does have a texture that dries down that I don't favor in terms of it not looking as smooth as I feel it should.
Allow me to quickly interject, as I also think this compares to the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, and I actually do think the Can't Stop Won't Stop is the drugstore version of that formula. I feel from bouncing around between both foundations that the Makeup Forever doesn't dry down as matte, and it is marketed as matte and also 24-hour staying power. I feel the Can't Stop Won't Stop dries down more matte than the Makeup Forever. Okay, bye.
But this, I feel like it doesn't feel very tacky. It feels velvety on my skin, and that's why I don't use primer. I just rely on my skincare. I've been doing that for months, and I think it kind of yields a really beautiful texture after the foundation has been fully blended and absorbed. I like it. I will set my under eyes because the Conceal and Define is a lot creamier than the foundation and it will move on me. Taking up my Milk Makeup Translucent Loose Powder in the shade Light with the same Wayne Gloss number 2, I'm just going to place it right under my eye to set the concealer. And yeah, I just took off the plastic lid because it was driving me nuts. You saw in my other video how I had to like wrench it open. Like, I'm not gonna go through that every time I need to use this powder, okay? I will powder around my nose and center of my forehead on the portions that I know will for sure separate. Alright, how do we look so far? I definitely think the concealer balanced out the shade a little bit. Before I do everything else, I actually want to apply my bronzer on camera just so we can see how it blends over the foundation. I'm taking my Take Home the Bronze from the Balm, which the name changed. This is Grammy. I think this happened before they changed the shade name, so let me know what it is, or I'll just check and put it down below and go on their website and see. That blended pretty nicely. Ooh. Now, I think Alyssa Ashley's role was to help with the shades. I'm not sure if she partook in the formulation process, but I think she was definitely hands-in on the shades and selecting them and figuring out the undertones and all that jazz. That's pretty good. That does not look patchy whatsoever. It doesn't look like it was clinging to the foundation. I think it blended quite smoothly over the foundation, and I did not set it with powder. This portion anyway, I think that looks pretty freaking smooth. I applied my Marc Jacobs bronzer yesterday, and that looked phenomenal as well. Okay, we're doing good. I'll just finish my complexion on camera now in going with the Wet n Wild Megaglo highlighting powder in the shade Golden Flower Crown. I'm taking my Sigma tapered highlighter in F35, which has easily become my new favorite highlighting brush. Yes, they did send it to me, but it's been changing the game in terms of the application and how I've just been loving the brush and how it's designed and how it applies my highlighter. Like, whoa. Okay, you see what I mean? It's so pretty. Okay, highlighter is on. What about some blush? Let's see about the blush. Oh man, do I even have blush here? Oh god. Alright, I don't have blush nearby, but I will go off camera now, do my eyes, we'll gather our thoughts, oh excuse me, and be back in a sec. Alright, rest of the makeup is done. I applied the Bad Habit Beauty eyeshadow palette in Athena. This is the Desert Dusk Huda Beauty palette dupe. I also applied a little bit of Fenty Beauty's Sangria Sunset and Mimosa Sunrise on my cheeks just to give a little. And also the natural lip color pencil from Ardency in the shade Essex. How do you like it? I love how my skin feels, how it looks. Foundation definitely took enough time to dry it down completely. I'm amazed at how this dried down to a matte finish, but it doesn't look dry, textured, or patchy on the skin. Now, granted, I would say normal to oily because sometimes I do get very oily here on my nose. I would say the rest of my face is okay. I do notice a difference if I use a more emollient foundation like the Makeup Revolution Fast Base. That definitely will give you some dew, and by the end of the day I could kind of feel it not separate entirely off of my skin, but I definitely feel the need to powder and set so it doesn't look as dewy. I didn't feel the need to set this foundation simply because it did dry down to a matte finish. My skin feels phenomenal. It does not feel dry. It actually feels very velvet. In the description, it did omit dry skin type, so I would try this if you're normal, combination, or oily, or even sensitive as they said. And I love the color match. I think it's pretty good. I'm golden neutral. I have a little bit of neutral, a little bit of golden. I think the cinnamon shade ties in those undertones quite well. And yeah, man, I'll be back on here just to take a look at how the foundation looks, how everything looks for that matter. I will try to get back home in time to get some natural light still from my window because it's already September and the days are getting shorter incrementally, so you can notice because a few weeks ago, 8 o'clock, it was still light out and now it's dark. So I want to try to get on here in time so we can see a couple of close-ups of how the foundation looks on my skin. It is now 10:30. So this is what we're looking at time-wise, 10:30 in the morning. If we can get 8 hours out of this and see how it fares, I think that'll be a great evaluation of the foundation and if it's worth your purchase if you're thinking about buying it. I'm gonna hit the road, train a little bit, do a little bit of my contortion. I'm gonna teach a class at 4, zip back home, and I'll catch you later. Ooh, we back. But wait a minute, hold on. Let me get my Fitbit to tell the time. 6:19 p.m. I made it back in time from Manhattan to catch the light. Yo, this isn't bad. I'm actually quite impressed with how well my foundation stayed, how well everything else stayed for that matter, considering that it was like 85, high humidity, so the dew factor was like way up there. Would I have powdered? Yes. I always appreciate reinforcement. I think if you were more normal, maybe powdering would not be necessary. You know, we got a little shine on the forehead, we got a little shine on top here, which works for the highlight anyway. But let's look at this skin a little more closely. You can kind of see my pores a little bit. I'm actually very impressed with how my nose looks. Even though there's no more foundation on here. You know, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm gonna put on some lipstick. Talking to you with dry lips. What's wrong with me? That's better. I had sunglasses on and off all day. And foundation never stays on. But actually, oh, so I got a pimple. It doesn't look that bad. Like, it just looks, it wore off, right? And of course some of my mascara dropped Let's look at this side. What do we think about the skin texture, friends, and how it looks after 8 hours not powdering? And I guess we did kind of powder, because if you would consider the bronzer as like setting that area of our face, like it's all our faces. Yes, in this moment in this video it is. And even the Fenty Beauty Killawatt maybe set a little bit here. In terms of how it feels, yes, it does feel a little dewy. It felt more matte upon application earlier today, but I'm not mad at it. I'm actually glad I didn't powder, so we can see how the foundation really wears long term over the course of the day and how it will feel at the end after 8 hours. Now, I'm not going to keep this on for 24 hours, I'm going to tell you that much. I think this is enough for me. It's a full day's worth. Like, I trained today, did a little contortion, did a little something. I taught class, and I wasn't outside all day, but I did walk to the train, walk to the club. I did train inside. And then actually before I went inside, I spent like half an hour just outside the club answering comments and emails and all that stuff. Went inside, went back outside to grab some lunch, ate lunch outside, and I thought I spent a good portion of the day out, enough to kind of give the foundation a little bit of work to do, and I love how it turned out. I don't have my medium powder here with me. I'll take my Milk Light, kind of just knocking off some of the shine a little bit. Ideally, I would use the Milk Makeup powder with this foundation, because I think this powder is ideal for this formula since it is lightweight and not heavy. The next time I apply this foundation, I will probably lightly set with this powder, because I think that takes down the shine. It definitely makes it more matte and makes the skin look a little smoother, and probably will sustain that look throughout the day if I were to powder initially after application. I saw that this foundation like only received 4 stars out of 5 or something like that. I'm not quite sure how popular it is amongst beauty enthusiasts. I like it. I'm gonna use it again. I actually was very impressed with, despite it being a matte formula, how well it blended into my skin and how it didn't look patchy and dry. I much prefer it over the Maybelline 24 Hour Super Stay Liquid. I like the stick, but the stick, you don't really get a lot of product for the amount it costs. I will definitely use this again tomorrow. If you are taking a look or thinking about getting the new NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, I think it's worth your purchase, especially if you are in a humid climate and you are around normal to oily and even sensitive as the description outlines. I think it's worth your try if you're looking for a foundation that's going to stay on all day. Now, I know the Fenty Beauty foundation is also designed for that purpose. The thing I have with Fenty is the fragrance. I wish that foundation did not have a fragrance, and especially when it's hot, I don't like scents on my face, and I feel that foundation scent lingers and I can still smell it after a few hours, which drives me nuts. That's definitely the Can't Stop Won't Stop is in that category of long wear, matte, all day wear. I like it. I really like this foundation. I thought the color match was pretty spot on for me just sticking with one shade. I thought the application was pretty flawless. Do I think it's full coverage? For me, I needed to go over a second time over my blemishes, but even though they're peeking through, I don't think it's half bad after 8 hours. So I do think the coverage is fantastic. I think the staying power is excellent. And if you are, again, in normal oily combination skin spectrum type, you should definitely give it a try. And for $15, 1 ounce of product, not that bad. Let me know down below if you try the new NYX Cosmetics Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, what you think about its wear, its shade range. 45 shades is phenomenal. I think it's a great opportunity to definitely find your shades, because there's such a wide range of color and skin tone, different skin tones. Let me know if you picked it up, any other new foundations you tried and you want to share your thoughts on down below. Take it away. And that, my friends, is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another get ready with me review, tutorial, wear test, store demo. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.